What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It is your boy, Studio Maguyver, and you are listening to Studio Maguyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Welcome to the show, guys. If you're new to the podcast, welcome to the podcast, man. If you're into nerd culture, video games, we talk about all of that shit and more. So let's begin the show. Now, I'm recording this show, letting all my listeners know a little bit early, actually Friday night. And I typically don't record unless it's Saturday, and usually I record Sunday night. But all the kiddos and everybody are gone, and I'm trying to take that opportunity to record now because they're visiting for the summer and it's a full house, and it's always difficult to record. So just giving you guys a little insight, a little behind the scenes type of stuff that goes on in my fucking life sometimes. So that is what I'm doing. But I do have some things I want to discuss, guys, and I've been dying to talk about a few of these things, actually. We had a Sony State of Play. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Before you get excited, just pump your brakes. We're going to talk about it. And it's not very good. And we also got some Assassin's Creed news. Yes, there's some new Assassin's Creed shit on the horizon. Going to talk about that. My anime watch list. I definitely want to discuss what I've been watching because I have been watching some anime. I've been drowning in it, so to speak. And that's a good thing, in my opinion. Going to talk about those. And then also a couple of new anime that I've really been waiting for. And now we got a little information on that. So, yeah, get ready for that. Also, the elephant in the room. I want to talk about Nintendo Switch. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard. I'm going to go all the way in and talk about this, and I cannot wait. That's going to be one of the last things I discuss on this episode, but get your popcorn ready, okay? The butter is definitely out on the table, and the sake as well. They're side by side right now, and if you really want to get deep into it, you can also see the endo sticks right there as well. So all of these three things coming together to create something of a fiasco, something of a blooper, whatever you want to fucking call it, a letdown. I'm going to get into all of it, guys. I cannot wait. And then also Monster Hunter Stories. Monster Hunter Stories 2, it's out. I have my copy. I'm going to talk about that and how excited I am to have this game in my possession and all of that, all the bells and whistles that come with that. So get ready, guys. So let's get started. And before I dive right into this podcast, let me let everybody know, which I try to do every episode, either at the beginning or the end of the show, to look out for your boy. And if you like this show, if you're into this podcast and you want to help out the show, you can do a few things. And it's really easy. You can go to www.studiomaguyver.com and you can get all things Studio Maguyver. Yes, you can get all my handles, my Instagram, my Facebook, my Discord, all of my gamer tags, all that shit. But you can also support the show by buying something. Maybe you want to buy a hoodie. Maybe you want to buy a t-shirt. Maybe you want to buy a coffee mug. But all of those proceeds will definitely go towards helping this show. And there's a lot of things to be loved that you can purchase. A lot of my longtime listeners would definitely appreciate some of the merch that is available to you guys. I'm going to be adding more stuff, so please get ready for that. It's going to be a lot of anime and video game based type of designs and t-shirts and things of that nature. So get ready for that, guys. I'm about to get back in this wheelhouse and get busy on this. The creative juices are flowing. Yeah, I can't fucking wait. So yeah, even going to do some new music. Going to have some new music. You guys can download it. All those things will be available to you at StudioMaguyver.com. So with that being said, let's get back into this fucking podcast. I am excited to talk about a few things here. And the first thing I want to talk about is a little bit of some gaming news. And that I want to talk about Assassin's Creed. Yes, if you're an Assassin's Creed fan like myself, which I pretty much own all the Assassin's Creed games after Brotherhood, I think, then you're going to probably, you may hate this or you may love this. There's been a lot of hate going on about this new upcoming Assassin's Creed game. It's going to be called Assassin's Creed Infinity. And before you get excited, it's still a long ways away. And there's still a lot of things that could change and could happen. But right now, the rumor, or there's whispers out here in these video game streets that they're talking about this next game going to be a paid service game. And when that was spread out into the internet, people started losing their shit and, you know, getting worried and all these speculations. And I can definitely understand that. I can definitely get behind that because when it comes to paid service games, that is not, and I do repeat, that is not one of my genre of game. Okay, I do appreciate a good multiplayer game from time to time with friends. Okay, but I am not a shooter. I do not play first person shooters a lot. That is not my forte. That's the games. I mean, I understand there's a huge market for that, and hey, if you love that genre, more power to you guys. But every gamer has their own genre, and that is just not mine. I prefer my single player, open world RPGs, my JRPGs. I prefer those type of experiences, and hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And my fighting games, of course. But a lot of people are salty because they do not want a game where they have to pay. Okay, and usually when you're talking about Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft, which I do love, by the way, I think Ubisoft is a dope company. I mean, are they perfect? No, what company is? But they do have a lot of fucking games that I do love, like in the Assassin's Creed series, and there's a lot more. You know what I mean? So hopefully we get other things from Ubisoft, like another. I don't know. Should I say the name? I mean, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna say no. I'll say two words, and it's a name, Sam Fisher. Okay, and I'll leave it alone. I'll bow out gracefully. Hopefully we get to see Sam Fisher in some sort of capacity in this generation. I think we will. I think they have something planned. I think we just don't know it. I think we're going to get another Sam Fisher game, okay, Splinter Cell game sometime, the life cycles that we have available to us now. You know what I mean? I really do. If they don't, then they are really throwing away money, okay? Yeah, anyway. But the Assassin's Creed format that they're trying to go with, man, I just can't get behind that. Now, I could understand if it's a free-to-play game and then you charge. That's the only acceptable paid service game that I am willing to accept, me personally. Now, everybody has their own opinion. You can feel that way or not. That's cool. But that's just me, man, okay? Me personally, if I have to say it, I mean, a lot of companies are now selling the game to you, and it's a paid service game. So they want to sell you the fucking game, and then on top of that, they want to charge you more for shit. And that's the thing I don't necessarily like. That's the thing I can't get with. And it also depends on what content, how much content you get with, that said game. It's a lot of variables that go into it. But me personally, if I had to make a decision, it would not be buying a game if it's a paid service game. Because what happens to those games eventually is they eventually all go to die. I mean, that's where video games go to die. If something happened where the game came out and you actually liked the game, and for whatever reason a lot of people didn't feel that same way, then the life expectancy of that game is going to be pretty short. And in a matter of months, you could be looking at a fucking brand new coaster. You could be looking at a beer coaster, a cup coaster. You could be looking at an ashtray, whatever you want to call it, big ball it. You could be looking at that, okay? Because a lot of these games end up in that capacity. They end up not lasting, and they always go to die. They're worthless pieces of plastic when it's all said and done. Okay, as soon as those servers decide to shut down, that's a fucking wrap, no matter how much you hate the game, no matter how much you fucking love the game. And it's worse if you love the game. So, I mean, yeah, some of these games are cool to play and all that type of stuff and burn some time. But, some of these games you want to go back to. I guess I'm speaking from a collector standpoint because me, personally, I love my physical media. I have a lot of, older systems and a lot of games. Not as many as a lot of you guys out there. I'm sure there's a lot more collectors that have more than I do. But I recently adopted that way of life when it comes to my games. I want to conserve my games. I want to hold this history in my hands. I want to take those memories with me, and it's a nostalgic kind of trip too. It's a lot of different things. Therapy, if you want to call it that. For me personally, I just like turning around, going into the man cave, looking at my Dreamcast, looking at my Sega Saturn, looking at my Nintendo 64, all my handhelds, my PSP, my fucking Nintendo DS, 3DS, all of those things, I'm keeping. I'm not selling. I'm not doing all that. When I was younger, I used to do all that. Take them into GameStop, trade them for a new system, yada, yada, yada. But now I'm like, no, fuck all that. I want to keep my shit because there's games I want to go back to. There's games I still go back to. And that is video game preservation, through my eyes. And that's just what I like to do. We are approaching the time where, that stuff is coming to an end. I mean, download only. I mean, look at the systems now. I mean, I have an Xbox Series S, not by choice. I wanted the X, but I settled for the S because it's still an awesome system, and I didn't have any Xbox games, Xbox One games, anything. So it didn't hurt me to pick this up and just go download only and play a lot of awesome Game Pass games and so on and so forth. So I'm happy with that purchase, but that's where we're going. You know what I mean? That's where we're headed, and I want to keep all the games that I can possibly keep for myself because I want to go back sometimes and play. It may be 5 years before I decide to go back to a game that I love and decide to play. But eventually, I want that choice. I want to be able to make that decision. If I want to play it 5 years later, 6 years later, I can do that. I can just go in here, turn it on, boot it up, and let's go. You know what I mean? The retro gaming scene is definitely alive and kicking, and there's been so many other inventions, if you want to call it that, that have, led us to where we are today. I mean, people are making controllers, current controllers, and current games now for older fucking systems like Sega Saturns and Dreamcast. There's games available that are brand new for that system, controllers that are brand new for these systems. You know what I mean? So that lets you know that there is a market for this. There are fans of this. I've seen lots of young people that surprised me that plays a lot of these retro games, man. I mean, a lot of these games are very special, and that's why they're still around, and that's why a lot of people still love them, and that's why a lot of these are pricey. They're not going to be easy to get. I mean, and so on and so forth, man. So I don't know. I don't know how I got on this subject, how I got all the way here. I'm talking about Assassin's Creed, but yeah, that's where we're at. As far as Assassin's Creed is concerned, guys, the game is still at least 3 years away. So there's a lot, and I do mean a lot, that can change. And I think they're going to take a lot of what people are saying right now and what's going on with this news, and they're going to take that, and if they're smart, they're going to use it to their advantage, and they're going to correct anything that could possibly go wrong in the future. And I think that's a positive when it comes to making games. A lot of companies do take that recipe and they run with it, and that's how it should be. You should definitely think about the fans, not necessarily just your pocketbook, because those two things go hand in hand, essentially. Sooner or later, your run to the fucking money is going to fade because the people are going to stop playing, the people aren't going to support you. So you want to kind of use those sparingly. You want to make sure you're using the right amount of each one and catering to the fans as well. I mean, you got to have fans. You're not going to have any fucking money. So it's a bittersweet thing. I hope this Assassin's Creed thing, blossoms into something dope, because they also mentioned that, it was going to have multiple settings. I don't necessarily know what that means, but it's something new is what it sounds like to me. And hopefully they can capitalize on it. And hopefully 3 years from now, we will understand more about this game, and it won't be so bad. It may not even be a live service game. That's just what people are saying. And if they take what people are talking about when it comes to this game and being a live service type of thing, they will correct it, and we can walk away clean. But we'll see. Only time will tell, guys. I'm just giving you the information that I have. Okay. All right. Enough about fucking Assassin's Creed, guys. I think now what I want to dive into is my anime watch list. My anime watch list, guys. Yes, I've been watching a shit ton of fucking anime, and smoking a lot of endo sticks and watching anime. And I'm loving it. I've also had a couple of glasses of sake from time to time. Every now and then I like to kick my feet back and pour a nice tall glass of sake, and then turn on some anime, some Crunchyroll, or even some Hulu, or even Netflix, because now I can get anime from all three places. Okay. Now there's been a few anime that I've been watching, but before I let you guys in on that, I want to talk about a couple anime that me personally, I have been waiting for so fucking long. Okay, one in particular goes by the name of Vinland Saga. Okay, if you are not familiar with Vinland Saga, you definitely want to check this one out. And a lot of anime fans are probably familiar with it, but they haven't necessarily seen it because of the platform that it was on. And it was on Amazon Prime. Now I don't know where it's at now, where you can watch it. I know Amazon Prime had the season 1 there. They could have moved it. The funny thing about anime, man, it's always moving. It may be there now, but then season 2 or whatever future seasons could go somewhere else, or season 1 could go and move somewhere else to Hulu or whoever the fuck. We don't know. It's funny how that happens and how they shop them around and stuff, but that's just the business. But I'm so happy to report that season 2 is in the works. If you guys were wondering, if you guys ever thought about whatever happened to Vinland Saga, now you know. We are getting a season 2. And if you don't remember, season 1 came out like back in the summer of 2019. That and usually, when you have a anime that tight, that proper, that awesome, you want to backdoor it with the season two. But this was around the time of the pandemic and all this other shit, and it threw a lot of things in the whack. I mean, so many things. Just not just the gaming industry, the anime industry, all the industries that I love, and a lot of you guys love as well. I mean, it affected everything. Nothing was safe. I mean, retail, whatever the fuck you want to think about, everything had taken damage when it comes to this COVID shit. So everybody's now trying to get their bearings back right and get back on that horse and start working again. And that's a cool thing, because now we're finally getting it at, and we don't know the date. We don't know any other information right now, but I don't give a fuck about that. I'm just so happy that it is in production right now. That's cool. Just let it be coming, please. And that's all I care about. So that is some news for you guys. So be looking out for Vinland Saga. When I hear anything else new, I will definitely keep you posted. The other anime that I want to talk about real quick is one that everybody's been talking about in the manga world and the manga universe out here in these manga streets. You know what I mean? And I've been seeing it. All of the YouTubers I fuck with have mentioned this so many times, and I'm wondering, man, I need to check this out. Same thing with Vinland Saga, same thing with Fire Force. When I hear these names in the streets, in these anime streets, I have to take heed. I have to see what's going on about it. Like somebody was telling me about Death Parade the other day, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to have to check that one out as well. So, hey, I'm always open to new anime, guys. Please believe me. If you have any ideas, if you have any anime that you don't think that I've seen and you think that it would be a good watch, I don't care if it's fucking shonen. I don't care if it's slice of life. I don't care if it's, I don't give a fuck if it's a harem. Whatever anime it is, I am down for it now, because now I have completely changed my anime lifestyle, man. And it's been that way for a while. I watch anything and everything. I invite everything. I give everything a chance. And that's how you find gems. That's how you find anime you fall in love with that you never thought you would have. And that's a beautiful thing when you find a diamond in the rough and there's something that you really like. And I just love that feeling when you're about 2 or 3 episodes in. You're like, oh my God, I'm really digging this anime. And you get excited for the rest of the show, rest of the episodes, whatever. That's what I love, man. And Chainsaw Man is an anime that everybody is talking about, and it is finally going to get animated, and that is definitely coming soon as well. There is no date on that, but that, like I said before, that stuff will come when that information gets here. I will definitely give that to you guys. I'm looking forward to that one as well. I've seen the trailer and it looks fucking breathtaking, and I can't wait to get into it. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are 2 anime that are coming, that are in the works, that will be here. Hopefully, if not the end of this year, then early 2022. But they are close, and you should definitely get your popcorn ready. Now, as far as what I've been watching this last week, oh man, I told you guys, if you don't remember, towards the end of the last episode, that I was gonna be watching 7 Deadly Sins. Okay, that I tried to watch it before for whatever reason. I think I watched 2 episodes and I just couldn't. I was kind of, multitasking when I was watching it, so it didn't feel like it was for me. But everybody kept telling me, yo, you need to give it a chance. Keep watching it. And so I did. And now I understand why I should have kept watching. I'm actually really enjoying this anime right now. I think I'm still in season 1. There's a fucking gnat in here. So forgive me, guys, if you hear me moving around the microphone and swinging and all this bullshit. That's what this is. They kill me. They get on my fucking nerves. Every once in a while, you'll see one, and they're just very irritating. But 7 Deadly Sins is fucking awesome. I'm still in season 1, and I'm really enjoying this shit. I'm enjoying the characters, man, and I'm enjoying the relationship development between the characters and how all this stuff is going on. Man, I'm so glad I gave it a second chance. I'm so glad I kept watching it. So I'm watching that right now, and that's one. There's another one. I think a new season just came out, because when I went to Netflix, it was like, yeah, season 5 just got here. So, lots of things to look forward to. By the time I get to season 4 and get that done, and season 5 should be ready. And I think it's already completed. I'm not sure. If it's on Netflix, 9 times out of 10, it already is. But, if it's going by episode, it's cool too. I think that by the time that happens, I should damn near be close. But, I like to speed watch stuff. I like to binge stuff. So, to slow that down, I've got a couple other anime that I am watching. And, 7 Deadly Sins is kind of like my lay down anime now. It's become like my, you get ready to go to bed, when you're winding down in your last hour or so before you go to sleep, go on and put that on, get you about 2 or 3 episodes in, and say goodnight. I don't know how it started that way, but it did. The other anime, a couple I'm going to name, I watch them in the man cave, and while I'm kind of doing stuff. And the other anime I want to talk about is one that goes by the name of Golden Time. Now this is like I said, this list is just completely mixed. And Golden Time is a fucking slice of life anime about basically about young people living their lives, man. You know what I mean? About a guy who basically had an accident and lost his memory, and basically he lost who he was. So he's starting anew. He went off to college, and he's got a whole new set of friends, and he's moving on, but his spirit, so to speak, is still reminiscing on the old him and still remembers all of the old memories. And he had I guess you can call it, potential love interest that he had, and who he knows now, who the current him version of himself knows and sees, but she does not reveal herself to him. And that's kind of where it gets kind of crazy. It's really good. It's really intriguing, and there's more to it than that. But it's about love. It's about being young and trying to figure out all these things, and working things out and making new friends and all that. And I really honestly never thought that I would be watching and enjoying anime like this. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, it's just like you couldn't have told me this 2 years ago that you need to watch Golden Time. Like, what? No, you couldn't have told me that. But now, I swear to God, man, I don't know what it is. It's just, it's so good. These anime are so good. These slice of life, these other anime that aren't shown and that aren't just basically surrounding action and all the time and death all the time. I mean, these things are very enjoyable, man. I mean, and I'm so glad for that, because now it opens up so many more options for me, and I can watch more than one. Like Seven Deadly Sins, you can basically call that a shonen anime type of anime. It's an action type anime. So I'm juggling that, but then on the other end of the spectrum, I'm sitting here watching Golden Time about others completely different shit. You know what I mean? Completely chill. It's crazy, but I'm enjoying myself, so that's what I'm doing. I'm still, I think that one has like 24 episodes. I think I'm like episode 11 or 12 on that, so halfway through, enjoying that. And then the other anime that I just started watching, literally today, early Friday, late Thursday, is one called 100. Straight up just 100. And it's about these, I guess 100 is basically considered a special, I guess, battle suit, if you want to call it that. And not everybody's gifted enough to to wield them, control them, and all of those things. And there's a guy who's a student, and he goes to the school, and he's really gifted, one of the top in his class before he got there. And then there's the president of the school, who's a beautiful blonde haired chick, big titties, all of that. And she's raw in her own right. She's definitely talented. And how can I put this? There's another chick who's pretending to be a fucking guy to basically become roommates with the main protagonist, okay, of this anime, the guy. And it just gets crazy, but I love it. It's looking like it's forming into kind of a harem type of anime, in a sense, that it's got some harem anime kind of vibes, and I love harem animes, guys. I love the animes where the guy is clueless, and he's just trying to do his thing, and then all the girls, they start off not liking him, or they have disdain for him, and then as time progresses, they start to their feelings start to come out, and then they start to display them, and first try to hide them or neglect them, or they're ashamed of them, and then it comes to, I just love that type of shit. I just get a kick out of it every fucking time. You know what I mean? Where the girls get jealous, and it's mixed in with the action and the shonen aspects of it as well, because it's definitely got some dope action scenes in there, and it's a perfect mix. I love those type of anime. So 100 is definitely a good one. That was recommended to me as well. I mean, there's so many anime I have to watch, guys. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm just so happy that the anime scene is so robust and there's so much I can enjoy. So yeah, and I'm really into my my I'm really into my subs right now. Didn't think I would be, but I am. I mean, I'm literally eating up the subs. So that is no issue for me right now. I'm just moving and going, and I'm cool with that. And I watched about 2 or 3 episodes of 100 before I realized there was a fucking dub on that. So I switched the dub up just so I can do a little bit more while I watch. And Crunchyroll's kind of bad at that, man. They, their fucking navigation, how you run through their app and stuff is kind of they need to change that. They need to update that shit for real. It makes it extra difficult to do all that when you should go to like the Netflix and be able to just hit the button and look at subs and or dub audio, change it up and walk away. But they have work to do. But I am having a great time watching these anime, and these are the current anime I am watching right now, guys. So yeah, I plan on finishing these soon. I'm not gonna rush it, because it's leading me into my next thing I want to talk about, which is why I'm not gonna be rushing it, because I'm gonna be playing a lot of games. Well, I'm gonna be gaming a lot here very soon, and it's gonna be a lot of time. I'm gonna be putting it on the Nintendo Switch, guys, and I'm saying that because I want to talk a little bit about Monster Hunter Stories 2. Yes, the game is out now. I picked up my copy. I'm excited. I haven't even opened it yet. After the podcast, I'm going to open it, put it in the Switch, and take a shower, and then maybe play a little bit before I go to sleep. But yeah, I just finished the demo this morning. Like, it was like 11 o'clock this morning. I said, fuck it. I was doing side quests all day, all night. And then 11 o'clock, I finally got done. Didn't get any sleep, running on fumes. But I'm happy at the place that I'm at now. I think I'm level 10 or 11. And yeah, I'm loving my character. I mean, I love this game. There's so many things I could tell you guys about this game. If it's a JRPG, if you love JRPGs, you're going to fucking love this game. If you love Pokemon, you're going to love this game. I mean, half of it is about the monsters that you find, the eggs that you find. I mean, what makes this game different from the other Monster Hunter games is you actually befriend monsters. You can actually find the eggs and you can train them, and you can have them join your team and use them to fight other monsters. That's the beauty of this. And you can have multiple monsters in your stable, so you can switch them out based on their specialization, and weaknesses and strengths versus other monsters. And it's basically a giant farming Monster Hunter simulator with monsters. And of course, you're a rider, and you're the main character, and you're the one who controls these monsters. You can ride on them, and you dictate the pace of the battle, and you upgrade yourself as well, where you're able to do things. So it's just an awesome game. I mean, I really enjoyed the demo. I played like 14 hours of the demo. So I mean, the demo is very long. If you guys have a Nintendo Switch and you haven't played this, you should definitely get that free download on and do that. If you're a PC player, I think the demo becomes available now. I think it's available now on the day of its release. So if you're on the fence about this game, then definitely check it out on PC. I had a friend of mine, Jesse, aka J Love. Shout out to my boy. He came over today and dropped me off a little bit of some of that Indo, and then I laced him up on the game, and he wants to play it, so he's going to play it on PC, I think. And the beautiful thing about that is cross-play, baby. Okay, being able to team up, and they have PvP. Please, are you listening? There is a PvP mode on here as well. So there's just so much to do. I've looked at tons of reviews on this game, and all of them say that the game is excellent. And there's so much post content in this game after you beat the story. There's still so much to do. I love those type of things about these games. And there's 5 free updates, okay, that will be taking place in the next 4 or 5 months. So there's so many things in the works for this game, and I mean, it's amazing. New monsters, you're gonna get all this different stuff coming out. I can't fucking wait, man. I can't wait to get out there. I think I fought a Puke, however you want to fucking pronounce it, guys. The poisonous motherfucker, man, that has the tail and does all that crazy shit. Yes, I beat one of those. I have one of those in my stable, and right before I finished the demo, I did this ultimate attack, man, with him, and it was like a poison rain type of thing. It was so awesome, man. I was like, yo, this, if I'm gonna get, if this is just a taste of what is to come with these other monsters when I find them, and then not to mention you can trade and swap traits and genes and make it that custom fucking monster that you want. I mean, yo, it's gonna be ridiculous. And now I see what all the hype and everything is about. Finding those monsters, getting those perfect genes, and discovering all these other things. Like, there's so many things I haven't even figured out how to do yet. Like, I haven't been able to cook meat yet. I mean, there's an icon where I can do it, but I guess it's not in the demo, or I didn't get to that part of the demo or whatever. I don't know, but there's a lot of things that I see in this game that I have yet to use. So I'm excited about those things too. All of the essence of just playing Monster Hunter games. And then I'm still excited about Monster Hunter Rise as well when I get ready to return to that. And there's a lot of things that I still have on my plate that I want to tackle with that game. There's a couple of weapons I want to get because I play SNS, which is sword and shield. And I mean, I'm having a fucking blast. As far as my weapons, as far as what I'm using with the Monster Hunter Stories joint, they allow you to actually have 3 weapons equipped at all times, so you can switch out the weapons without costing a turn, or you can also switch out your monsters without costing a turn in your battles. So if you run up on, like, monsters that use power based attacks, then for those head-to-head battles, then you can go ahead and swap in a monster who is good at fucking something else that negates that. And it's beautiful. The way that it does the animations, everything. I mean, I love the graphic art style of this. It's like Breath of the Wild. Just think Breath of the Wild just in a Monster Hunter universe. Okay. If you go to my Instagram, check out my Instagram. For you guys that don't know, a lot of you guys listening already have, well, at least some of you have. And you can check out my character, Endo Saki. And I always name my created characters Endo Saki in all of my games, guys. I mean, I think that's becoming like a thing now, a trend now, whatever. I don't know. But I got a dope idea about my character in Monster Hunter, and I think I'm gonna make a custom T-shirt, and I think I'm gonna put it on the website. My character is dark skin with long jet black cornrows, and he's dark brown eyes. I just love the creative character in this. It's so anime, guys. It looks sick. I mean, the options that you have here, especially with the eyes tell the story of that character. There's so many different options for that, and I think a lot of people are going to get a fucking kick out of the creative character thing in here. It's not super in depth, but it's in depth enough to where you're going to appreciate it for what it is. And I really love my character. I really love how he looks. I love just how the cutscenes, he's in the cutscenes and everything. Like, I just love this game. I cannot wait. I really hit my stride last night until this morning. I played for like 4 hours straight, and I didn't want to stop playing it. But I think part of the reason why I took my time at the beginning of the demo was because I didn't want to get done with the demo too quick, and I did not want to be, fiending for the actual game. So for the fact that I finished this morning was cool, because later on that night I knew I was going to have the game, and now I have it still sealed in the wrapper, but it will be out very shortly. But like I said before, guys, if you want something, if you're looking for RPG, I mean, look no further. PC players, say Nintendo Switch players, pick this one up, add it to your library. If you're a Monster Hunter fan, if you love Monster Hunter Rise, please, you owe it to yourself to play this. Download the demo, and for God's sakes, buy the game. I mean, they're giving us everything we need. We've got PvP, we've got co-op, online co-op modes in here, and there's certain monsters and stuff that you can't even get unless you play co-op mode. So it gives you an incentive to go out there and do that. I mean, what else is there? You know what I mean? What else is there to say? Okay, buy this game. Go pick this shit up. All right. Now, let me get off of that, and let's tackle some Sony State of Play. I want to talk about Sony State of Play real quick, guys. Gonna brush over that fiasco real quick before I, talk about the huge elephant in the room, which is the new Nintendo Switch, quote unquote. Okay, but yeah. Sony State of Play, guys. And I'll give Sony a little bit of credit, because at the beginning they let everybody know, look, please don't get your panties in a bunch. This is only going to be focused on Deathloop and a few, indie titles. Okay. and a couple of third party games. That's it. It's where you're not gonna see any of our first party games here. You're not gonna see the God of War. You're not gonna see, Horizon Zero Dawn. None of those games. Final Fantasy. You're not getting any of that. Okay. At least they kept it real and told us that. But it's still frustrating for it to be July and we still don't know what the fuck is going on. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Blew into the fucking mic because this goddamn little gnat is here. But because we don't know what the fuck is going on, man, for the future. I mean, I say it every fucking week, and I'm gonna say it again this week. Please don't get your hopes up on any of those games I just mentioned. Please don't, because it's not gonna happen. Okay, it's just not gonna happen this year. I highly, I really believe that in my soul that we're not gonna get Horizon Zero Dawn this year. There's just not enough Sony PlayStations out here to go around. There's just not. It doesn't make sense to do it, guys. If you add up all of the pieces and you look at the paper, the writing on the wall, all these things point at 2022 when they are able to get more units out to everybody. I'm just telling you that now. I think that's why they're not saying shit, and that's how I feel about it. I was really not excited about any of the games that they showed. Like I said, Deathloop was okay. I mean, I see a fan base for that, and they're gonna do their thing. Deathloop is gonna do their thing, and I can see some appeal on that. Also, there was another game that was okay that I kind of liked a little bit, and that goes by the name of Hunter's Arena Legends, and that game is excuse me, guys, that game is looking okay. And then there's a game called Sifu, Sifu. I've seen these previews before. It's a fighting game. It was slated for 2021, but now it is going to be pushed back to early 2022. So, I mean, there's really nothing here. A lot of these indie games that they showed, okay, whoop-de-doo, whatever. They're okay, but nothing to write home about at all. That's why I'm not mentioning them, because they, didn't leave an impression on me at least. And then they showed some more Demon Slayer gameplay from the game that's coming out in October. And they also showed a little bit of some Death Stranding director's cut, which was fucking hot garbage to me. I'm sorry, Death Stranding as a game was just a walking simulator. There were some people who appreciated it, but I wasn't one of those people. And for them to even put out a director's cut, man, I mean, they are really trying to squeeze that washcloth, that very, very last drop out of there. We'll see what happens with that. Yeah, but I will not be touching that game at all. Even if it was free, I wouldn't play that shit. And I'm just being honest. Yeah, that's just something I wouldn't do. But hey, one man's trash is definitely another man's treasure. So if you love it, hey, that's all that matters, right? I mean, if that's what you choose to play, more power to you. I will never hate on another man or woman's game preferences. I mean, if that's what they like, that's what they like. I mean, they're out there for a reason, right? To enjoy. So enjoy it. But this whole state of play was it was fluff. It was a bunch of fluff, and that's pretty much all it was, guys. I mean, that's it. I really have no other words, to say when it comes to this Sony State of Play thing. Just give me the real Sony State of Play, the big macaroni. Give us that, and that's why I don't understand, because we had a Sony State of Play and they didn't show anything about these other games. Now, why is that, guys? Why do you think that is? Why do you think we don't know anything as far as release dates are concerned with the other games right now? Because they're not coming. They're showing us all this other shit, but they're not. It's not coming. They're looking at all of the things that are available, and they're coming back with, we don't have enough units. That's just what I think, guys. Who am I? But hey, if I'm wrong and something happens and they tomorrow come out with this new state of play and it shows, I will admit it all day long. Okay. But for people who don't own a PlayStation 5, you got to be wiping the sweat off your head. You got to feel, at least somewhat relieved, because look, I don't know how I would act if I knew these games were coming out this year and I didn't have a system and I couldn't find one. I mean, that shit would fucking hurt. It's Final Fantasy 16. Guys, I want to play that so fucking bad. All of those games, I want to play all of them. God of War, I want to play Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, my son was playing that today. He was playing that shit this morning. Okay. And I asked him, I was like, he was towards the end of the game. I said, oh shit, you got the suit. I see you had the suit. but he did not have the gun, the shotgun. I call it the shotgun because, you know, it's a secret weapon in the game, kind of hidden if you have to do a certain quest to get it, where you fucking, it shoots like a shotgun and you literally blow the fucking parts off of all these fucking creatures, man. And I loved that fucking weapon. That was my primary thing when I wanted to knock shit around. But yeah, he was playing it and he said, oh, I'm gonna have to go back and get that. Yes, you do, young man. Yes, you do. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I hope that I'm wrong. I hope maybe we get another state of play, and we get other details revealed, and we get more information. And you know, I will be reporting it to you guys. You know, when I get the information, I will let you know. But until then, man, hey, it is what it is. I am excited about Demon Slayer the game because I am a huge Kimetsu no Yaiba fan. I love, you know, Tanjiro and those guys. I love Rengoku. Since I've seen the movie, Rengoku has become one of my favorites. Right next to, you know, Tanjiro. So I am definitely looking forward to this game and I will be buying it. But other than that, man, it's just nothing to discuss when it comes to Sony right now, especially with the major games that they're supposed to be coming out with. So there's no news, no info. I will keep you guys posted though. So let's get off of Sony. Let's get off of this fucking state of play. Let's walk away from that and let's talk about the last subject. The elephant in the room, so to speak, and that is the Nintendo Switch OLED. Okay, now this comes out October 8th. If you guys are curious, you want to know the date. But what's got a lot of people salty, what's got a lot of people pissed, and what's making this become a super meme in the gaming community is the fact that Nintendo put this shit out. They put this device out, and everybody was speculating. New Nintendo Switch Pro, and all this shit. And you know, knowing Nintendo, they fuck around and will put this out October 8th and then turn right back around in December and announce an actual Nintendo Switch Pro for 2022. That's how fucking retarded Nintendo can be sometimes. Honestly. You fucking love them and you fucking hate them. I mean, I love them to death, but I fucking hate them in the same breath sometimes because their decision-making skills are subpar at best because their body is full of endo smoke. Their body is full of fucking sake. And of course, you know that warm butter is literally dripping from the fucking tub of butter they have in their hand down onto the floor and they cannot wait. They're sitting there rubbing their hands together like Birdman, getting ready to fuck the next consumer with certain things that they do. You know, I just can't get past it. I mean, they have so many dope games. They have so many some of my favorite games are on the Switch, man. I mean, they are. You know what I mean? They are. Astral Chain. Okay. Platinum Games game. All right. One of my other favorite dev studios. All right. Monster Hunter Stories. You know, that game. I'm going to love that game. I already fucking love this game. Okay. They have so many fucking dope games. Daemon X Machina, one of my other favorite games on the fucking Switch. I mean, they have some shit. All right. Monster Hunter Rise. Excellent games, man. But there's still issues with some of the things that they're doing, guys. And this OLED shit is pretty fucking bad, if you ask me. From a consumer standpoint, it is bad. Now, if you don't have a fucking Nintendo Switch and you never had one and you want to get one, I mean, that's what this, in my opinion, should be for. Honestly. I mean, the average regular Nintendo Switch is what, $300, $299.99. All right. This one is fucking $249.99. The price itself is just ridiculous. Now, if you're a Nintendo Switch owner and you were trying to get a Nintendo Switch Pro and this is what you thought this was going to be, then you couldn't be more wrong. And you should not spend $350 on this device. You would be so much better off. And I do mean so much better off finding you a fucking Xbox Series S. I'm telling you right now, it's $50 cheaper. Okay? $50 cheaper, guys. And you get the Game Pass, you're a fucking winner. You won. Throw away the key. Run away from the fucking door. Okay? Leave that little girl in the basement. You fucking won. All right? I'm telling you this from experience. The Nintendo Switch OLED is a fucking joke. It's a waste of money if you already own the system. Okay? You are getting 7-inch OLED screen. Okay, your screen is a little bit bigger. That's what you're getting. The actual Switch as a whole is the same size. The only difference is that little black fucking square rectangle around your Switch is going to be thinner. That is it. Okay? Let me tell you what else you're going to get with it. This is what Nintendo is trying to sell to you. You're going to get a 7-inch OLED screen. Okay? It's supposed to be OLED, so you're going to just, the lighting is going to be a little bit crispier. Now, that also comes into play only if you are a handheld player. Now, me personally, I play my Switch 90% of the time in docked mode. I play it in 1080 on a big screen TV. All right, that's how I play it. That's how I have my man cave set up. Every once in a while, I'll take it in the room with me, but I mean 10% of the time, and that is it. Okay, so if you're playing it on docked and the majority of the time, this is also more incentive not to get this shit. Okay, next, it comes with a wide adjustable stand. So if you have a Switch, you know that if you wanted to stand your Switch up, you could there's this little skinny little fucking thing in the middle of it on the side where you can click it, and it's kind of flimsy if you're not careful, and it'll allow your Nintendo Switch to stand at an angle where you can play it like that. But that's it. In other words, you get a wider version of that. That's what comes with the new Switch. Okay. Also, and this is a kicker, you get a fucking dock with a wired LAN port. Now, why the Nintendo Switch didn't have this shit, in the beginning is beyond my comprehension. I do not know why this shit was not here. I don't understand it, but they're now finally adding it here. But I'm going to keep it real with you guys as well. I don't play any of my shit on landline. Okay. Everything is fucking wireless. Everything is, all of my systems are like that. Okay. It'd be a hassle to fucking have to do that for every system and have every system hooked like that. It just would for me personally. And then if you're talking about Nintendo playing online, I mean, most people playing games online, you're not going to be focused on Nintendo. You may be focused on something like a Sony product or maybe an Xbox or even PC, but not Nintendo. Okay, that's not going to get your that is not going to get your landline support. In my humble opinion, that's just me. Like I said, I could be wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of Switch users that is their primary system, and that's fine as well. But it is what it is, guys. But that's what you're getting. We're not done yet. There's one more thing you're going to get to have that's going to make you go out and spend that $350 on a new fucking Switch, even though you already have one. And this is 64 gigabytes of internal storage. If you don't know, the original Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch handheld, they come with 32 gigabytes of internal storage. So technically, you'll probably be working with about 27, maybe 28 gigs after the operating system's taking up the rest. And I tell everybody, hey, just get a SD card. Okay. I mean, 64 as opposed to 32 is really not that big of a jump at all, honestly, if you're keeping it real, if I'm keeping it real with you guys. And then they say there's enhanced audio coming out of it. But like I said, if you're playing in handheld mode, I mean, it may help a little bit, but if you're not, you're playing in docked, I mean, that's another reason that, okay, I'm not going to be needing this. And that's my issue with it. The price tag, $350. I mean, I could understand if you put it out for $300 and then you dropped the regular Nintendo Switch to $250. Hey, that's decent, in itself. But no, it's not what you're getting. You're not getting any 4K resolution. You're not getting any, a different chip besides that Integra X chip that comes inside there already. So you're not going to be playing games any faster. The games that are hard to run on the Switch, they're going to continue to run hard on the Switch, and that's just what it is. I mean, it's very outdated as far as the specs and as far as the technology is concerned, and I don't know how much longer the Nintendo Switch can do it. I mean, I'm sure they have their own games and they do have their own appeal to the stuff that they are doing, and I appreciate that, and I do love the games that they do have on the Switch. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I don't, and I'm sure they can make many more of those, but still, eventually, you're going to want to fucking do something. You're going to want to give the people something worth, purchasing. But they just put this new Switch out. They're going to sell it, and the fucking sad part about this, guys, is they're going to fucking sell. There's going to be people that are going to buy this shit. They're going to be people who already have the Nintendo Switch that are going to buy it. I've already seen YouTubers and certain people say they're still going to buy it, even though they don't really fucking want to, but they're still going to, just for the sake of having it. I mean, it just it that irritates the fuck out of me, because if you keep buying something, they're not going to change their fucking ways. And a lot of things Nintendo does need to fucking change. A lot of their ways they need to fucking, back up a taste, use their fucking heads and think. Pour out the fucking sake, put out the endo sticks, all right? Stop smoking the sherm, and they need to fucking readdress certain situations, in my humble opinion. But like I said, if you keep feeding the trolls, you keep doing these things, they're going to keep pulling out the butter. They're going to keep, knocking people unconscious and sliding down their garments, man, and sticking their tips into that warm butter and using it on your person. It's not going to stop. So it's a bittersweet thing here. If you don't have a Switch, like I said before, and you want to spend that extra $50 on this, then, I could see that happening. And it's going to be one of those things where on October 8th, when it comes out, guys, nobody's going to be able to find this shit. Okay, it's going to be a hot item. You're not going to find it. It's going to be fucking hard to find all the way from October to the end of the year. Okay, it's going to be that hot item that everybody is going to be, they have to have. And Nintendo knows this. That's why they're releasing it in October, because they know that they're going to be hard to get. And even the regular Nintendo Switches are still hard to get. Those are still fucking hard to get. When I was getting my Xbox Series S, I mean, they literally had limited supply of the Switches as well, and people were running after these too. They were scrambling to find these as well. So, I mean, is the Switch a good system? Of course it is. Would I recommend the Switch, any version of the Switch, to a gamer who doesn't have one? Fuck yeah, I would. Is there so many great games to play? Yes, there is. There's so many advantages to having one. Of course, I love my Nintendo Switch, but at the same fucking time, guys, you have to know when to say when. You have to call a spade a fucking spade. You just fucking do. And this is one of those times. And I have to fucking say it, because if I don't, nobody else will. You guys listen to this podcast, listen to this show. You listen, you have to care about what I say a little bit, or else why are you even listening to me bitch and moan here? You know what I mean? And I definitely love you guys for that, and appreciate you guys' support for that. Even if I'm just trolling or I'm just, being a dickhead, I love it. I love it all. So I don't know, man. I say that to say the end and the final decision, or the final result, if you will, if you want to call it that, if I'm going to be your final person that you see and you decide, hey, should I get this or should I not? If you already have a Nintendo Switch, the answer is a hard motherfucking no. Okay? My humble opinion, nobody else's. Take it how you want to take it. If you don't have a Nintendo Switch and you're wanting to get one, then yeah, it would make sense to get this one. It's the newest model out. Of course, yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more, but you get those things with it. Maybe you could find some use for a bigger screen. Maybe you play your shit portable. Maybe you want that bigger screen, that sexier, slightly sexier screen. Maybe you want that. Maybe you could definitely use that extra 32 gig memory. Maybe you don't have an SD card now. You don't plan on getting one, because, when you get a new Switch, I know me personally, when I get new systems, especially handhelds and stuff like that, man, I have to put extra money aside for, of course, the accessories. And Nintendo is the number one, the fucking king of accessories. They have so many different accessories, guys. It's ridiculous. So you're going to have some money aside for that. You need a SD card. You're going to need maybe a carrying case or something like that if you travel a lot or whatever. Or maybe you want some new Joy-Cons, or maybe you want a fucking controller like me, like an 8-bit Do controller, which I absolutely fucking adore, that you use and that I use all the time for it. So you don't fucking know, but you're going to need something. And, that $350 you're going to end up paying before it's all said and done, maybe $425, maybe $450 after everything is paid for. You know what I mean? So that's what we're looking at right now. And if you're going to get a Switch and you're going to commit to it and you don't have one, then I would say that's the only reason that you should buy one of these. That's it. If you already have one, you don't. There's millions of Nintendo Switch owners out here now, and I'm guaranteeing at least 25% of those people are going to be trying to find one of these. So they're going to be fighting with the people who don't have a Switch yet, who are trying to get one. They'll be fighting with those guys. So you have the regular Nintendo Switch, the base one that came out. Then you have the slightly altered one with, I think, what was the difference between that one that came out? I want to say it was longer battery life. I think that was the main thing. And then you have the handheld only. And now you have this one, the OLED. So it's 4 different variations already. Guys, I mean, only Nintendo would do some shit like this. And there is no fucking Switch Pro, at least right now. Okay. I think Nintendo is, I mean, I think they're going to go towards a completely different Switch model when it does, or if it does happen, because they'd be alienating too many people, too many developers trying to do that. Okay. I think they should just stick to a completely different a different system if that's what they're going to do now. I mean, this right here should tell that tale, and I think that's where we should be at. That's what I think should happen. That way, everybody who owns these Switches currently right now, they can enjoy, the titles that are available out here now and the ones that are in the works for the future. Jesus Christ, is fucking that. Oh, guys, bear with me. I'm almost done. But yeah, I mean, that's where I stand on it, guys, and I'll leave it at that. I'll put my money on the table and walk away from it. I've said my piece with it. And they, the funny thing is Nintendo was slick. They not stupid. If you remember how the news came out, it was like a sneak diss. It was like a fucking, silent fart in the wind. They did not emphasize anything on this fucking announcement. They wanted to sweep it under the rug. And in a sense, I think that made it worse because, I mean, they jumped on this shit. They should have known. People jumped all over this shit, and now it's a meme, and it's all kinds of shit now going on. So they did that to them fucking selves, all right? If they would have just kept it real and was honest about everything up front, then I think it would have worked out a lot better. But they chose not to do that, and here they are, meme central. But hey, it is what it is. Some of you guys will still buy it, and that's just how the game goes. And with that being said, I am going to get my ass out of here, guys. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this podcast. Don't forget, www.StudioMaguyver.com, all things Studio MacGyver. Show your love and support for the show. You can buy a hat, a t-shirt, whatever the fuck, and help your boy out on that aspect as well. I'm going to get out of here, guys. I have a lot of stuff I still need to do. Have a busy Saturday. And yeah, man, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Please go out there if you have a Nintendo Switch or a PC and go play some fucking Monster Hunter Stories 2. Please do that because that's exactly what the fuck I'm going to do. This is Studio Maguyver, and you have been listening to Studio Maguyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.